March 7, 2022. I got something in my spirit this morning that was so spectacular I'm still reeling from it. As many of you have heard, from my blogs, I got my house back last month from the tenant who held it hostage for nearly 2 years because of the COVID-19 scam. I've done most of the painting and repairs, all of the plumbing, and some of the landscaping needed to re-rent the house and place it back in the income-producing mode, but for the first time in 12 years I'm a month behind on the mortgage, quickly coming up on 2 months. I know in my spirit that this is going to work out. I have the word from Holy Spirit that it will. I simply don't know how it will yet. When all is said and done I can't wait to give you all of the details, especially all of the little miracles I've seen along the way. As I have often stated, these blogs are a step-by-step accounting of how to walk by faith into the victorious faith life that God has ordained for us. Frankly, I've never seen this much needed account chronicled anywhere. In this endeavor, I have found exactly why no one has chronicled it. The reason is that it tends to stir up spiritual opposition, because Christians need it, and the enemy is desperately afraid of them getting it. He is afraid that we will walk in the dominion that we are called to, which will displace him, and undermine the control that he exercises over humanity. The dominion that he has stolen from Christians first, and mankind in general. However, I am undeterred, my mind is made up to deliver. In these last days of the dispensation of grace, I am committed to creating a point-by-point roadmap to the victorious faith life that God has ordained for us. I normally awake rested and with praise, but lately, the very first thought on my mind upon waking is how am I going to bring that mortgage current? Not one of the first thoughts, but the very first thought shaking me awake at 4:30 a.m. Because I am not refreshed, I know that it has occupied my sleeping moments rather than to awake praying in the Spirit as I often do. This morning I said, Lord, I know this is going to work out and my faith is undeterred, but this constant harassing is tormenting me. I know that I was raised on fear and the expectation that things would not work out for me. I understand that the enemy used my own mother's insecurities to systematically train me into failure that he could exploit, but in recent years I have made great strides to overcome that lie, and I am most often bolstered against it, but when it wakes me each morning it is wearing on my hope and disrupting my prayer life. I know that I have asked you for relief, and if there were a way not to go through this, I wouldn't be going through it, so please tell me what I am supposed to learn and how to successfully cross through this valley of despair. Holy Spirit responded, you know that now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Faith has to have hope to form the picture to work on. Despair is designed to destroy your hope. You know, from experience, that constant criticism creates in you the picture of failure that the devil is trying desperately to bring into your life. If he can steal your hope, faith will have nothing to work on. As you have truly reported, you can feel, spiritually perceive, that your faith is unshaken by this matter, but if you keep meditating on, it's never going to come to pass for me. Then, the enemy can keep your victory at bay, one day at a time until you give up, and that is his goal. I said, Lord, I see that, what do I do? Then I had a vision that, figuratively, knocked my socks off. I saw Pontius Pilate asking Jesus if he was the anointed one. Do you remember the crazy answer that Jesus gave every time he was asked that question, with the desire of the questioner to make him incriminate himself? He responded many times in that 2-day process. You say that I am. Have you ever wondered about that? I did for years. When they said tell us plainly, he would not respond, but the only time that he would respond plainly was when they invoked the name of God. I adjure you by the living God to tell us. Then he would tell them plainly, but he would always include this that was never asked for and had nothing to do with the question. Here is the account. Matthew 26:62 And the high priest arose, and said unto him, Answerest thou nothing? What is it which these witness against thee? 26:63 But Jesus held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living God, that thou tell us whether thou be the Christ, the Son of God. 26:64 Jesus saith unto him, Thou hast said, Nevertheless I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven. What did hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, and coming in the clouds of heaven have to do with their question? They wanted Jesus to say what would incriminate him so that they could bring about his judgment. The judgment was God's purpose, so when asked in the name of God to answer he was compelled to, but Jesus refused to leave it at the judgment because the judgment wasn't the last word. That is why it is not good to have a cross with Jesus nailed to it. The crucifixion is not the last word, the resurrection in victory is. Jesus was replacing their end result with his own, both for their reference and his own peace of mind. Hebrews 12:2 Looking unto Jesus the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. 12:3 For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Jesus endured the harassing thoughts of the cross by considering what would result, the joy set before him, which was your salvation and mine. Holy Spirit went on to say, I told you more than a year ago about $310,000 that will result from this trial. You need to start planning how to spend it in your mind. That hope will be the blueprint for its fulfillment.